Hey guys, welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. We're obviously on the bridge and we're going to finish this off, talk to Abelard on the ship bridge, so let's get started.
Lord Captain, allow me to express my gratitude once again for your assistance. If it weren't for your intervention, my entire family could have been executed on false charges. I could have lost them all. I never imagined the Viserians would be so vulnerable while I serve as seneschal to the Lord Captain himself, far from home. But such is my duty to the Rogue Trader, to keep tireless watch at the Lord Captain's side, to serve as a support in the darkest of times, for you and for me. I will not step down from my role, no matter what happens. Do not doubt me. The Viserian family will learn from what has happened, and if our blood is worth anything, we'll be ready to face new trials without my guiding hand.
Don't you wish to return to your family to make sure the Viserians do not fall victim to any further accusations?
I cannot guard my family as if they were little children. I once tried to protect you in the same way, and quickly discovered that you have your own head on your shoulders, and your own opinion on things, even if I do not always agree with them. No, my duty is to be at your side, to be your seneschal. Well then, Lord Captain, it is time I return to my duties. Is there anything else I can do for you?
That's it for now, I think.
Lord Captain.
Okay, while we're here, let's have a chat with Marajai, see if he has anything else to say. Save it first.
Rogue Trader.
I guess not. So, probably talk to him about everything we need to for now, I guess.
Then go.
Alright, let's see. The incident, okay, we just have to wait and search. The door, not sure. Rat hunting is on Footfall. Price of humanity. It's located in one of the fringe systems of the Cronus Expanse, okay. So I guess we don't really know where that is just yet. Marajai desires to meet with a group of Cabalites of the Reaving Tempest. Okay. I guess we're heading out to the Cronus Expanse map, and then we'll take a look at the actual Expanse map rather than just the system map. Let's figure out where to go. Probably heading to Footfall to get everything started and to talk to the Inquisitor. But yeah, I think that's probably the best option at this point. So let's do that. Okay, let's see, can we see anything? Winter scales around. So at some point we have to come through to here to name the star, and then I guess we have to search for new routes or something. So I guess we can't see any of the other... Oh, here's Gartrafal's Calamity. Okay, so it's up there. We could go there. Do we want to, though? No, I think I want to go to Footfall. I think Footfall is the place we need to be, so let's do that. Lord Captain, we have visitors on the bridge seeking an audience. Your presence is required. Alright. The Your lordship, the high factotum bows low. Every few moments, Danrock brings a perfumed cloth to his face, but his expression remains obsequious. Members of your crew have made a request to allow them to proclaim their most profound devotion to the Lord Captain personally. Young man. Your Highness, gracious Lord Captain, please let me speak on behalf of the whole crew and everyone and express our gratitude to you officially, so to speak. The kind of leader you are, the way you treat people, is now known in every corner of the expanse, from Footfall to the poorest, dirtiest, and most unremarkable planet. All praise your dedication to the human spirit and goodwill. Everyone wants to serve under your command. There's no end to the volunteers. So the other day when we were clearing out an abandoned sector for new living quarters, we found a forgotten vault, right in the bilge of the ship, literally beneath our feet. Well, it turned out the vault had some centuries-old weapons in it. They look a bit odd, but they're powerful for sure. The good tech priests helped with the assembly and consecration of the weapons. And now you can strike down your enemies with even greater might. Your lordship, apart from the weapons, the crew has sent one more find to the bridge as a token of its eternal gratitude, a most ancient mechanism which our tech priests have dubbed the Celestium Observatorium. Alas, its machine spirit refuses to heed their rites, which makes the device more symbolic and aesthetic than practical in purpose. Do you wish to see it? Of course. Hush, quiet. Don't talk about it like that here, all places. By the throne, are you still afraid of the Inquisition coming for you? You're not that important. The vessel stands ready, Lord Captain. Okay. Celestium Observatorium looms over the deck while the spirit of this ancient mechanism has gone silent forever. The words intricately inscribed on its frame can still serve as a source of resolve. King gaze sunders the darkness abloom with deceit and reduces all corruption to ash. Okay, that's interesting. What did we get? A ring weapon that fires a single liquefier shot that can only be used once per combat. Contaminants, a 3-cell radius area which inflicts 10 toxic damage and applies melting every turn. Okay. Mars pattern plasma gun. Okay, very nice. That's a big upgrade. Big upgrade on the damage, but less armor penetration. That's interesting. Can always try it out. Same axe. That's fine. Okay then. Let's head back off to Footfall again. Lord Captain, an urgent message. Our enforcers have arrested a dangerous saboteur who attempted to gain entry onto the bridge. This incident may be worthy of your attention. You see, both the saboteur and the circumstances of his capture are rather strange. You cannot tell if Vigdis sounds baffled or worried. I think it would be reasonable for Magos Pascal to take a look at him as well. What is so unusual about the saboteur and the way he was captured? The thing is, Lord Captain, the saboteur is most definitely a tech priest. He found his way aboard the ship and penetrated all our security systems with staggering ease. Both his ability to communicate with machine spirits and the combat potential of his augmentations are extraordinary. Nevertheless, the enforcers managed to capture him. During the arrest, the intruder, he offered no resistance at all. Instead, he asked for an audience with the great machine spirit. When he realized that the enforcers had no idea what he was talking about, he asked to meet with you. I considered it necessary to apprise you of the situation. This infiltration of a rogue trader's ship operated by authorized agencies cast doubts on my tech raid's tech comrade's stability. If he is indeed my tech comrade, that is. Regardless, I request permission to communicate with the captive. Alright, let's talk. Understood, Lord Captain. The saboteur will be brought to you. Group of servitors whose movements are suspiciously well synchronized stares at the towering prisoner. You do not need to hear them speak to recognize Nomos, who are seen fit to attend their interrogation. Asclepius, the captured man, if he can be called that, looks positively gigantic next to the enforcers at his side. Deadly-looking metal gleams dimly beneath his faded crimson robes, his hands are folded obediently, and his mechadendrites are perfectly still. I greet the master of this vessel cathedral and offer my humble apologies for this unbidden intrusion. My apologies to you as well, brother. The interloper inclines his head in the direction of the frowning Pascal. Then the prisoner turns slightly and looks straight at Nomos's observing servitors. And of course, I must beg forgiveness from you, Great Spirit. It was not my intent to desecrate your temple. Before I accept your apologies, tell me who you are and why you infiltrated my ship. My name, if it matters, is Asclepius, formerly a computator general of the Cognizance fleet, now a Liber recluse with the status of Malatech. Malatechs are exiles whose ideas have not crossed the line of heresy yet have come close to it. They are removed from the fleet structure to give them a chance to see the folly of their ways and prevent sedition from spreading. Pascal's voice sounds unusually alarmed. All of that is trivial. My past is nothing but a set of archived data. My lost status is a part replacement string in the long chronicle of the Cognizance fleet. I come not as the priesthood's messenger, but as a faithful disciple of the most holy Amanat. My brother once served as the engine seer prime on this ship. He was an adherent of the school of discontinuing the cycle, as am I. It has spread that far. It is difficult to discern Pascal's emotions from his tone. I know that my brother perished, but before he did, he sent me a message that told of a journey embarked upon by Theodora von Valancius. A journey through a dimensional gate, an artifact more ancient than humanity itself and toward worlds unknown. The blessed Amanat was with her. There, upon those dark worlds, he witnessed a great miracle, birth of a machine spirit of incalculable might. My brother believed that this spirit then fell a slumber within this ship like a child in a cradle, not responding to lowly pleas. That was the purpose of my pilgrimage, to reach the ship where my brother died, the ship upon whose decks the blessed Amanat had walked, and prostrate myself before the great spirit. Amanat travelled on this ship? Yes, he did. My brother's words on this were clear. Years ago, Amanat was part of rogue trader Theodora's inner circle before their ways parted. Tell me more about Theodora's journey. My knowledge of it is scarce. My brother suspected that his memory, along with the memory of all who might have known the details, had been purposefully modified. He saw it as a sign that the journey had revealed a great truth, and there were those who did not wish to see that truth brought to light. All that he conveyed to me was that Theodora had reached worlds unlike any the people of the Coronis Expanse had ever seen. There she unearthed a great treasure of technology, one that Amanat had the privilege of experiencing. What do you know about this great spirit? It is a great miracle, the Omnissiah's breath meant to help us discontinue the cycle. It was born of the treasure that Amanat and Theodora discovered upon the Dark Worlds, yet even a being so glorious needs attendants and guides. And as long as the Cognizance fleet is racked by schism and my brothers and sisters suffer defeats without end, there is no one to aid the spirit. That is why I came here. Does the name Nomos mean anything to you? Nothing. He has not come to know us yet. He will if you let him, Sue. We know, we sense that his words are about us, that the story he has told is our story. You are strong, yet you let yourself be caught. I took a vow that I would never inflict physical harm upon lay people. The Omnissiah grants us the power of the true flesh for a purpose other than damaging the frail and blind creatures that are all who have not yet tasted his knowledge. I've made my decision regarding your fate. Whatever it is, I will accept it. As will I, and yet I plead that my brother be shown leniency. His story initializes thought. We ask you to keep him for us. Nomos' servitors speak up suddenly in the faintest of whispers. You are now mine, and you shall obey my every whim, okay? You will be executed for your crimes. Guilty of offences against the Cult Mechanicus and House von Valancius, crimes warrant punishment more severe than death. You will atone by serving me and therefore the Imperium. Your actions have caused no harm, and so I shall not harm you. You are free. You may stay on my ship if you so choose. I could not ask for more. All I wish is to remain in these halls and observe in reverence the Great Spirit's deeds. Let the cycle be discontinued. Nomos' servitors turn their heads to you and nod all at once in what can be interpreted as an expression of gratitude. Okay. I guess before we go to Footfall, we're going to have a chat with Nomos, and maybe it's... well, we can't chat with Asclepius apparently, so let's save it here. The massive figure of the Malatech Asclepius is frozen before the cogitator in a praying pose. Without raising his head, he addresses you. I salute the ruler of this ship. You were in a servitor's body at my Magnate Assessio, Nomos, so how is it that you are once again in a cogitator? Nomos are not in a cogitator or in a servitor. We cannot say where we are, but our existence is tied to the existence of the ship for now. The servitor and the cogitator are only external interfaces, shells like humans and their bodies. So you really are a spirit of the ship? Nomos is silent for a long time, as though mulling over your words. We do not know what we are, but the ship is not us. The ship is our cradle. We may rise from it one day. We would like that. Bodies are not merely shells. No, they are shells. A human's existence is more than the existence of its shell. This is obvious to us. There is always something more. Something that simmers and shines, for which the dark light and wicked hunger are always reaching. Okay. You read the databank recovered from Theodora's cache, and then you said the incident marked the beginning of Nomos. What did you mean by that? Yes, Nomos, remember, you brought us data sustenance and it contained a name, Epitaph. We recognize it. No, not like that. In that name, we recognize the place where Nomos originate. Okay, I see you have found your great spirit, Asclepius. I have found a miracle, and the end of my worldly road. I have never seen and never will see anything more meaningful than the spirit of Nomos. In the face of its multitude, we are all nothing but the fixed values of an erroneous function. Okay. I guess we're done here. The cyber gargoyle's gaze tracks you as you walk away from the cogitator. Talk to Nomos. It is time to discuss the findings and discoveries with the very entity. Okay. I thought we just did talk to them. Let's save it and talk again, I suppose. Okay. What have you been doing, Nomos? We have been studying and observing, and helping the ship when we can. So many mechanisms they would have suffered without our input. Okay. Do we click on this thing then? Nomos are here. What do you want to talk about? Okay, nothing. understand. So I guess wait and search was we're waiting for Asclepius to turn up, but now when I try to talk to Nomos, nothing happens. Alright, well, let's just go to Footfall for now then, and the next time we come to the void ship, we'll try and chat with Nomos again. And okay, the Lord Captain, we have received a Vox message from Footfall. The Inquisition has declared martial law on the station due to the threat of Malleus extremists. Docking will require special permission, and even most of the asteroids have been cordoned off. Okay. The station's custodian, Her Ladyship Incendia Quarter, sends her greetings and invites your lordship to disembark at the docks with a small retinue. Her enforcers will meet you there to escort to another chamber for a private audience. The Vox crackles with static and Jay's honeyed voice fills the air. Vigdis, the salve for my heart, forgive the intrusion, but I have important business with the rogue trader. Oh, Shireen, I simply wish to remind you about my numbskull crew who got themselves captured by some rival Ashmags. Vladame is too occupied for schemes, and besides Incendia Quarter has already put him in his place, which leaves only Falco. May the Agi tear his soul to pieces. Footfall is straight ahead, and I would rather not waste the precious sand still left in the hourglass of their lives. He threw a wrench into the works, making my trade network fall apart like a badly assembled chrono. No income, no profits, only damages, all because my right hand is chained up on one of Footfall's asteroids. How about we pay Falco a courtesy visit? I'm sure your imposing visage will loosen his tongue and maybe, just maybe, untie the hands of my crew. Let's go and see what happened to your crew. Shireen, have I ever mentioned that you are the most fragrant rose bush in the entire blossoming garden of the Coronis Expanse? Don't know about that. Blossoming garden? If this is all you have to say, the Vox Master unceremoniously boots Jay from the channel. Apologies, Lord Captain. What will be your instructions? What other options for landing on Footfall do we have? I'm guessing none. We have none, Lord Captain. The augurs are reporting that all docking gates not watched by the enforcers are locked and rigged with explosives. Very well, let's take a look at Footfall's new hospitality. We at least are allowed to get in, so there's that. Atrium, okay. Of course, Jay must come, and Abelard, Cassier, Elliot, Pascal, right. Okay. Up to Incendia Quarter. Can't talk to him.
Oh,
Bar patrons.
don't you trust me?
Fireproof cape. Okay. Okay, so Jay's still. Well, Shireen, what do we have here? Cowardly Ashmag who wants to get his paws on my certificate without even working up a sweat. Considering the circumstances currently affecting Footfall, the only fitting place this filth could be hiding is in the sewers. A nasty spot with a powerful whiff about it, that is true, but I swear to you, Shireen, you won't come up with a better trap for Falco. I know these tunnels like the back of my hand. And the most delicious part of all is that the Ashmag chose to go in there. He'll wish he hadn't. Of course, that's only if the Agi don't mess things up for us and everything goes to plan. And if it doesn't... Jay breaks off, her shoulders sagging under the weight of her doubts. If it doesn't, my gang are dead, Shireen. One wrong move, one wrong word, thrown down. That Ashmag. Why is everything so difficult? Perhaps I should just give him the Makeda Tabula Official. Falco's not a complete idiot. He won't risk such a valuable payoff. He'll hold up his end of the deal and give me Tora and the others. Explain your plan in more detail. The gist is that we need to go down into the sewer tunnels of Footfall, connect a tank of sleeping gas to the old ventilation system, and direct the airflow to Falco's hideout. And of course pray to the Exalted One that the Ashmag's jackals don't spot us. It's true, Shireen, it's going to be a little bit trickier than it seems. Falco is desperate, so he's bound to have his thugs patrolling the tunnels. If we go crashing around down there, he'll know something's afoot, and when Falco's feeling jumpy, heads roll. Where are we going to get a tank of sleeping gas? What do you take me for? I've acquired it already. Don't worry, I have everything covered. How do we get into the tunnels? Most of the passages have been sealed off by Quarter's hounds, but there is one they definitely haven't got to. Time to pay a visit to Octi and the Adeptus Amasecus, Shireen. Come, it is time to enter the sewers. To the Amasecus we go, Shireen, or do you have other pressing business to handle on the way there? I'm guessing that we have to at least talk to Incendia first, surely.
I need no...
One day, I shall remind Revestum that he was ready to bury my family.
Was it a trooper? Something's going on here. I used to burn rats in the docks back on the station. Same thing. You survived the trial. How did you manage that? When they grabbed you on the street, I thought. Anva. Oh, okay. Wow, that is a lot of markers. Let's talk to Hieronymus. Hieronymus' gaze is alight with awe. He breathes in the smell of burnt flesh and promethium and says to you, "Behold, noble stooge, as Footfall transforms before your very eyes. In the wake of your toils, this den of depravity will once again become a testament to the Emperor's greatness, as was its original design. Does it bring you delight?" Give him the diary of the captain of the Wasteland Wayfarer. Your expedition perished. He studies the diary for a while in silence, then says grimly, "Captain Virkil was a kind but fallible man. So was my brother in service Graving. So were the 4,822 pilgrims who boarded the Wasteland Wayfarer many years ago. It grieves me that their kindness failed the test that the void presented them with. Let their deaths serve as a reminder to us. Corruption has many faces and can stain even the purest of souls. Thank you for the news, Lord Captain. Colony A3649 Menoris is hereby officially declared fallen and lost. Can we move our conversation to a place more befitting people of our rank? Why, for a missionary, his temple is a patch of deck beneath his feet. From where I stand, I can clearly see the life of my flock at all its bustling, blooming, and wilting. Here I can see their vile urges, futile hopes, and flashes of sincerity. If I were in the habit of locking myself in a temple, would I have made it in time to intervene in the massacre of your subjects from Kiavagama? No, truth resides not in golden halls, but here in the square among the people. Golden halls are home to other far filthier things. Fair enough. Can't necessarily argue with that. Okay. I guess we're just heading up to
my own path.
Blasphemy, heresy, piracy, dissent. Okay. Blasphemy, Anva, heresy, piracy, okay. Trolling, confessor, citizens, vagabonds, okay. Have mercy, our families are starving. We only have taken a couple of Nutri-bars. Lies. I see clearly with my naked eye the corruption that has engulfed your nature. Only the cleansing fire can absolve you now. Guilty. Is this fire cleansing enough for you, crazy? Incendia Quarter is absorbed in reading a long strip of parchment. Her left hand is holding a silver spoon with which she is carefully scooping up brain matter from the open skull of the man contorted next to her. Stooge von Valencia, I've been informed of your arrival. Exhaustion has crisscrossed Incendia's features with lines. Her cheek is twisted in a continuous nervous tick. Yet her eyes are ablaze with indomitable resolve. A brilliant aura of power and righteous fury surrounds her like a mantle. She gracefully brings a gold-plated inhaler to her lips, takes a deep breath, and the fire in her gaze flares like a plasma thruster. Examine Incendia. One look at Incendia's full-dress uniform shows that it has not been changed in many days. The collar is greasy and the laces are stained with sweat. The air is tinged with the smell of an inhaled stimulant that is used to give serfs the ability to work multiple watches without rest. What is that? Incendia sinks her silver spoon into the man's brain and slowly consumes this revolting morsel. I must know the taste of a criminal's thoughts. It is how I learn to recognize their patterns. Disgusting, unspeakably so. A pure soul cannot conceive or fathom the workings of a criminal mind. The weak embrace their ignorance while the strong banish it. If only you knew what it's like to be familiar with every shade of corruption that lurks in depraved souls. Something wild sparks in her pale eyes. You know not the first thing about perceiving it, sensing it, peering into people's souls and seeing the heinousness therein. You do not know what it's like to look at their faces and see the brand of their impious deeds, but I know it all too well, and none will escape my wrath. What manner of slaughterhouse is this? Some atrocious travesty of justice? This is true justice, unprejudiced, inescapable, and equally merciless to all. The Lord Inquisitor has bestowed upon me the honor of bringing order to this cesspool of pirates and heretics. To rid Footfall of the corruption that has fettered its limbs and turned this imperial station into a hotbed of free thinking and inefficiency, and I will not rest until all have been judged. This is no tribunal, this is slaughter. It must have been the Emperor's providence that brought you here to my court. It would be my pleasure to indict you for the crimes you have committed. And what is it you wish to judge me for? Let us weigh the gravity of your transgression, Stooge, and learn how you have sullied yourself in the Emperor's eyes. Everyone knows how freely you interpret the strict prohibitions of the Emperor. With a feeble heart you grant mercy to those who do not deserve it. You do not punish transgressions with the utmost severity, and you do not strike terror into your subjects that will bring them to pious trepidation. You waste your energy and attention on the needs of non-entities instead of turning them to his service. Under your hand, dangerous free-thinking and satiety flourish and will soon swell with the plagues of anarchy and decadence. I deem the evidence against you sufficient to cast you as an enemy of humanity. I've just broken out after being held captive by Xenos in Comora and butchering my way through scores of enemies of humanity. Tell me, am I truly the greatest enemy of the Imperium you have been able to find? That you are loathed and feared by the enemies of humanity does not make you pure in the eyes of the Emperor, but perhaps he saw fit to set you on a different path. One of righteous xenocide and blood-soaked redemption for your faults. I would never dare go against his will. So you are in charge of Footfall now? Indeed I am. When the Lord Inquisitor enacted martial law in the Expanse, I offered him my support at once. Footfall was chosen as the Lord Inquisitor's headquarters, and the position of Footfall's liege was temporarily abolished while this war lasts. Or perhaps longer than that. All authority was transferred to the station's warden, to me. While the Lord Inquisitor is preoccupied with matters of strategic planning, I am tasked with security and order. And there is much to do on that front. Pirates and smugglers, apostates and cold traders, deserters and outlaws, every one of them warrants attention. Incendia cracks her neck that must have grown stiff after so many hours of reading, then she picks up another sheet. Everywhere you look, servants are buckling under heavy stacks of new denunciations, warrants and other documents. Whom do you judge? All of them. Thieves, smugglers, pirates, traders, heretics, deserters, abettors, harbourers, cowards and perjurers. Any who has ever trespassed, any who has ever protected a miscreant, or kept quiet about a crime they knew of, they will all be condemned. With obsessive determination, Incendia starts going through her papers, seemingly no longer aware that she is doing so. More and more new convicts are being granted the great boon of undergoing servitude in perpetuis and having rid themselves of sinful consciousness. Of serving the Imperium free from doubt and weakness, Footfall will once again become a bastion of law and righteousness. I will eradicate all heresy that prevents the faithless from giving themselves over to the good of toiling in his name. Well, that was a bummer. I didn't choose the Iconoclast option because I thought I might be able to get back to it, but apparently not. How long has your court been in session already? Incendia seems slightly perplexed by her questions. She starts moving signed sentences from one stack to another, then says uncertainly, 3 weeks? The court carries on day and night, so my sense of time eludes me. There is nothing just about this trial. Your accusations are contrived, and their purpose is simply to turn the entire population of Footfall into client automatons. Do you think that I find enjoyment in this? Looking at vileness upon vileness, listening to one excuse after another? I loathe this and despise every malefactor out there. If I were weak of will, I would have obliterated this foul station with nuclear fire. Instead, I am here to offer each of them the right to be judged in his name and the chance to return to his fold renewed. The universe is a terrifying place. We are surrounded by the arch-enemy's machinations and Xenos scum who would deny us our right to exist. The threat is inconceivable, and human weakness will not help us avert it. If man is weak, I rid him of his spinelessness and feebleness, endowing him with a sacred narrowness of mind, and eradicating all that prevents him from utilizing his whole self in service of the Imperium. She's not lying. You can tell by her eyes and her voice trembling with earnest faith that Incendia genuinely believes in every word she just said. What makes you think you are entitled to govern this place as you see fit? Such is the law of Footfall. Any rogue trader who arrives here assumes the right of absolute authority. Surely it is not that cutthroat Tokara who deserves to rule this station. He will soon be hanging from a noose, and so will his Kazbalikan henchmen, and so will those Anver firebrands whose outrageous activities brought Footfall so much grief. Once you hindered my efforts to subdue this station, and yet here I am now, dispensing justice to the wicked. I only regret that I was unable to get started sooner. Then Takara's troublemakers would have already been crushed instead of lurking in cargo bays and maintenance tunnels. Regardless, I will deal with them soon enough. I can tell you are quite popular with the locals. This attempt was mediocre and far from the first, but my enforcers and my throne keep me safe. Its refractor field is impervious even to tank shells. That thief Takara had this sacred Drusian relic stashed in one of his storerooms. Where is the Lord Inquisitor? In the Liege's chambers, coordinating the Expanse's defense. His attention is focused on matters of vital importance, and he is not seeing any supplicants. The soldier wearing inquisitorial armor echoes Incendia's words. Your lordship cannot see the Lord Inquisitor now. However, he bade to inform your lordship that he will summon you later when the circumstances permit him to do so. We shall see whether Footfall will thank the Emperor for your reign. Oh, I do get to address the crowd, okay. In due time I will weed out all the taint that has bred here on Footfall for so long, and then pious fear, loyalty, and devotion will once again become the pillars of this station under his watchful eye. What happened between you and Winterscale? Winterscale is a traitor. While the Expanse burns, ravaged by heretics and unhallowed Xenos, he abandoned his duty completely and had the nerve to ignore the Lord Inquisitor's call to battle. My servants are taking over his worlds and ships while he is hiding from reckoning and indulging his base urges. Soon enough, he too will stand before judgment. Have you and Caligos lost your minds? The Expanse is in a calamitous state and you two are busy settling scores. You must cease this at once. Negotiating with that mad dog is off the table now. He will merely laugh at your talks of reconciliation and execute your envoys. For too long has Caligos reveled in impunity and believed himself king of his world. Address the crowd. Those of you who acknowledge me as your sovereign are viewed by the law as subjects of House von Valancius, and therefore are exempt from Quarter's judgment. I will take you aboard my ship. The hopeful crowd in the atrium starts hysterically clamoring for their oaths of fealty to House von Valancius. Not one of them thinks twice about clutching at the life-saving straw you have offered them. Incendia wearily leans on an armrest and looks at you with contempt. Take this pitiful gaggle of miscreants, stooges, if you so desire. My trial will not end here. I have the whole of Footfall to judge. Enough words. Your accused await, and so do my duties. I don't think drawing our weapon would be particularly useful. Enough words. Your accused await, and so do my duties. 0%, okay. Wait, you have a duty to the Emperor that you must see to Vladimir Takara, the deplorable rebel who once ruled the station, has slipped away from me. He is instigating the people to revolt, killing my servants and hiding from my wrath with the dexterity of a void rat. My informers claim he often appears in the den of unrest that bears the irreverent name of the Adeptus Amazekis. We have made several attempts to arrest him, yet he evaded capture each time. Reverend Hieronymus has gone there to convince him to surrender quietly, but his efforts have likewise been unsuccessful. In the interest of Footfall's integrity, Takara must be apprehended. As the rogue trader in authority, I order you to aid me in bringing him to justice. The asteroid where the Adeptus Amazekis is located has been cordoned off, but my enforcer will take you there. I want you to lure Takara out of his hole and seize him so that he may stand trial. Do this for the sake of Footfall's liberation and pave the road that my justice will tread. You pronounce Vladimir a criminal? Why wouldn't I? That vile rogue's infamy is known to all. He patronized thieves, smugglers, and pirates. By his allowance, heresies and unholy cults flourish. That he has evaded punishment this long can only be described as gross negligence, which I intend to rectify before long. Why did Hieronymus go to the Adeptus Amazecus? Reverend Hieronymus headed where the rebels are seen the most often so he could preach to them and sway them to repent. Alas, he still cannot see the difference between those who have erred and those who are beyond any hope of redemption. Some of the people you wish to execute are useful to me. I purchase valuable equipment from them. Scoundrels and thieves will be replaced by honest suppliers. Even degenerates such as the Kazbalika can be of some use in the coming crisis, but their willful leaders need to be replaced with more pliable and trepidatious successors. It is the only way for us to protect ourselves from being stabbed in the back. And what do I stand to gain? Does it not satisfy you that order and imperial compliance will be restored on Footfall? I see you adopted too much from Theodora, namely her hubris, greed, and indifference to duty. I haven't the slightest desire to get involved in your petty squabbles. An averse grimace appears on Incendia's face and her voice trembles with anger and tension. You still cannot grasp the fact that everything has changed, Stu. Gone is the time when you could do only what you wish to do. It is now time to do what you must. As long as you refuse to cooperate, Footfall's isolated sectors will remain off limits to you. Go and consider my words and your position. A Zoapat plasma gun, okay. Patrolling confessor. Okay.
Light of Terror.
I am registering unconventionally high efficiency for the unit Cassia Orcelio, relative to her limited experience. Status being upgraded.
Knowledge is the key to everything.
Missed these
is
goods
it not,
before.
esteemed Magus? I learned this
So,
wisdom from
let's
your
have a
fellow
look.
priests, and it has helped
Incendia
me
Quarter
many
wishes
times.
for Vladame Takara to stand trial. Footfall's asteroids are cordoned off by her enforcers, and the only solution that would grant the Lord Captain free run of the station is accepting Lady Quarter's proposition, or at least pretending to accept it. Wait for Calcazar's summons. Go down into the sewers. Okay. So I guess we have really no choice but to agree to the Incendia Quarter's proposition. So question is, do I want to lie about accepting it or not? I don't really like what she's doing, so for an Iconoclast run, I think we might have to lie to her then. But I think this is probably a good time to end the episode. I'll have a think about it a bit more, and then in the next episode I don't think we could go anywhere else for now other than exploring the rest of the Coronis Expanse. So if we want to help out Jay, we might have to lie to Incendia Quarter about bringing Vladame to justice. But I'll have a think about it, and then in the next episode we'll have a chat with Incendia again and go from there. Thanks a lot for watching. See you then.